in the next paragraph we read, with a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers draped in a curtain of rain. Draped means covered. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. These truly did resemble new silver coins. The boys, exposing themselves to the rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. In this paragraph, we can see that everything is going as expected. Lenko reflected upon the field, and the flowers covered with droplets, which seemed as if they were wrapped in a curtain. Unexpectedly, strong winds started blowing, leading to a hailstorm. Satirically, the writer refers to these pellets of frozen rain as new silver coins. The innocent boys became playful and went out in the rain to play and collect these hailstones, which looked like frozen pearls. The next paragraph says, "It's really getting bad now," exclaimed the man, Lenko. "I hope it passes quickly." It did not pass quickly. It did not pass quickly. For an hour, the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, and the whole valley. The field was white as if covered with salt. Not a leaf remained on trees. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lenko's soul was filled with sadness. When the storm has passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his sons, "A plague of locusts would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing. This year we will have no corn." That night was a sorrowful one. All our work for nothing. There's no one who can help us. We all go hungry this year. These paragraphs throw light on how the storm changed their lives. The farmer started worrying and the hopes that the storm gets over quickly, which to his disappointment didn't. The hailstones covered the entire valley, including the house, garden, hillside, and the cornfield. It made everything look as white as serene as God's head. So white that it seemed like covered with salt. Lenko became stressed and disappointed as everything went against the plan. The trees had shed their leaves, corns were smashed, and the flowers had also fallen from the plants. While standing in the withered fields, he conveyed his dismay and sorrow to his sons by commenting that the effect of the storm proved to be worse than that of crop destroying insects. All their hard work had gone in vain. He felt helpless as no corn had been left and feared that they might have to starve this year. Here the paragraph starts with a very sad note. But in the hearts of all who lived in the solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope: help from God. be so upset, even though this seems like a total loss. Remember, no one dies of hunger. That's why what they say, no one dies of hunger. All through the night, Lanko thought only of this one hope, the help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. Lanko was an ox of a man. Ox of a man means hard working like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to write. The following Sunday at daybreak, he began to write a letter, which he himself would carry to town and place in the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. The following paragraph means, even after everything had gone southwards, means gone wrong, the family still had hope in their hearts. They had faith in the Almighty, even after nothing was left. They gave each other support and recalled a saying which assures that no one ever dies of starvation. That's true. God never leaves his children. Lanko spent his entire night thinking of the only option left, and that was to seek the help of Almighty, who, he had been informed, has its eyes and ears everywhere. He thought of writing a letter to God, conveying his grievances. Despite spending all these years working at farm, he still knew how to write. He started writing on the Sunday morning and thought of mailing it himself by going to the town. In the next paragraph we see, God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry. This year, I need 100 peso in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes, because the hailstorm, he wrote to God on the envelope. Put the letter inside and still troubled, went to town. At the post office, he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. One of the employees, who was the postman and also helped at the post office, went to his boss laughing heartily and showed him the letter to God. Never in his career as a postman had he known that address. The postmaster, a fat, amiable fellow, also broke out laughing. But almost immediately he turned serious and, tapping the letter on his desk, commented, "What faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter, starting up a correspondence with God." In this letter, now we just see the meaning of the paragraph. In this letter to God, he communicated his poverty striking situation and mentioned that he needed 100 pesos to regenerate the crops along with surviving until they are ready to harvest. On the envelope he wrote to God. Then at the post office placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it in the mailbox. While segregating the post, the postman, who was the employee of the post office, noticed Lanko's letter and showed it to the postmaster. They both felt amused. They started laughing that, oh, he has written a letter, somebody has written a letter to God. But the postmaster immediately developed a sense of seriousness. He was astounded at the amount of faith Lenko has in his God and wish that he must have the same.